Hi, welcome back. So this is the continuation of our topic for chapter one. So as we've discussed earlier on the first video, we have discussed the history on when it started, the agencies that uh, help in promoting human resource management. So this time we will be discussing the challenges of the human resource management and unsay mga challenges nga iyang giagihan nga nakaabot siya in this status now because the previous video we mentioned that because of the effort of the PMAP of the other organizations, the status of personnel management has been enhanced, and the quality as well as the salary of personnel management or managers has greatly improved. But there are challenges of the organizational, I mean, challenges that the human resource management has gone through. So, one of the challenge is the challenge of the global community. So I know you have or you already had your TCW or the contemporary world, and you already are aware of the global community and the globalization. So organizations are increasingly finding out that to survive, they must compete with organizations not only in the place of operation but in the global business community. No, dili na lang diri as sa locality, dili na lang sa Kabadbaran, but organizations or businesses in Kabadbaran, they're also competing businesses from Butuan City, Cagayan de Oro City, and so on and so forth. Okay, so um, companies, they need to compete and defend not only their local markets and customers, they must broaden their scope of to encompass the global markets. So if you will notice, we are striving or companies are striving to like export their products to be known. Even in the music industry, if you will notice, there are music groups or our Filipino artists. They are working so hard to be recognized in the international or in the global community, 'di ba? Because that's also a commodity. Remember, businesses, they provide commodities. It can be products or it can be services. Okay, so and music is a commodity. So therefore they are striving. So that's the challenge of the global community. The challenge of human resources is how they will be able to bring the organization in the international level, on how they will be able to compete in the global community. The second challenge is the stockholders challenge. So the organization has stakeholders. They have the stakeholders are the of course the investors or what we call the stockholders. The second are the customers. No, kinsa tong ilang mga suki, kinsa tong mo palit possible customers. The community and also their employees. So there are challenges on how to balance them because the investors has different interest versus the interest of the customers. Ang investors gusto nila mataas ang presyo so that they will be able to gain more, they will be able to get big profit. But the customers, they do not want the prices to go up because they will not be able to afford. So that's one of the challenges of the human resources management to how they will be able to balance the needs of the differing needs of the stakeholders, the stockholders. So the human resources management greatly influences cost reductions. So they para paubos ang presyo. The quality management, so they are also looking at the quality of the products, and the financial systems that are ingredients to profitability and growth. So they have to always look at that. So they will be able um, to what do you call that? Malampasan nga kaning mga challenges. Another challenge is the challenge of productivity. So the global technology is increasing the it increases the challenge to greater productivity. So therefore, human resources became more kanang gitawag nga smart workers, or they become smarter workers with the aid of the computer aided machines. They use the internet, they use the expert systems, they produce high quality products that are demanded by the world market. The introduction pod of these new technologies need the reconfiguration of the employees' work design, their training, their program, and their reward system. Because there are technologies that are being introduced, it is very important that the human resource management will be able to make the employees cooperate or work with the machines, because there are people actually that will reject, no, 'di ba? Pagbago sa ato, if you do not know that, if you don't have any idea of that machine or a technology, your normal reaction is to reject it. So that's the challenge of meeting them, of having the employee cooperate with the machine or accept the machine and learn to use it to increase the productivity, because the the technology actually can increase the productivity, but there are some who thinks that technology is a competition. No, competition siya because they think that they will be replaced. And that is why the human resource management are continuously trying to find out on how to scale up the skills of the employees so that they will not be replaced, 'di ba? Because we cannot siguro wala pa dili pa man maabot ang time that everything will be run by robots and programs and computers. So we still need human touch sa atong in businesses, in corporations. Okay, so it is said that there are links on high productivity. So what are those links? Of course, the human resources and their capabilities. So human resources, that could be the employees, no? That could be the managers, the supervisors. Those are human resources. And then their capabilities. What are their skills? What they can do, right? What they are willing to do and what they are prepared to do. Then the new technology and the opportunity. So there are new technologies, there are systems, there are computer aided equipment that can be used to increase high production, or to get high production. And then efficient work structure, and also company policies that allow employees and technology to interact, right? Para dili tan-awon sa employee as competition niya ang technology, but as a tool to increase productivity. Okay, because the organization's competitive advantage depends on the strength of these linkages, or these links: the human resources, the technology, and the efficient work structure. So if you will be able or if the human resource manager will be able to manage this, or to link all this and work together, you will be able to increase productivity. Right, so that's the those are the challenges and what are needed for high productivity. Now, let's go to the contributing growth factors of the human resource or personnel management in the Philippines. So there are growth factors, and one of them is the increasing complexity of business operations. So ngano daw ni grow ang field sa personnel or human resource management. One of them is the increasing complexity of business operations. Meaning, um, from simple before, from simple, nahimo siyang complex that it cannot be managed anymore by the top management. So they need someone specialized for that field to manage it. And that is why we have human resource managers. Another growth factor is the government regulations and labor laws which were promulgated in the recent years. Right? So in order to safeguard the workers' interests, especially those related to wages or sueldo, the working conditions, the job security, and health, the government thought that it would be wise to uh, create or enact a number of labor laws and government regulations para maprotektahan po ang mga employees. So among such laws are the woman and child labor law. So diha nanggikan ang mga uh, laws that protects the women and the children. Like say for example, the age no kana mga underage nga mga bata dili na sila pwede pa trabahoon. Um, Also, for the women, that's why we have like maternity leave. So they will be able to attend to their children or the single parent leave, especially women. They are given like 7 leave in a year just to attend to their children. So, muna siya. And then the next is the minimum wage law. So, pag mingon tag minimum wage law, diha nanggikan ng mga minimum wage. Let's say, for example, National Capital Region, they have their own minimum wage law. Sa mga probinsya, kanya-kanya po nag-set og pila, like 300 something, 371 man siguro diri sa atong city. Um, 500 plus in Metro Manila. So, diya siya gikan. And then the 8-hour labor law. So meaning, we are only required to work 8 hours, and beyond 8 hours, it should be paid overtime pay. Okay? And then also the Industrial Peace Act of 1953. So industrial peace, in the word peace alone, because before there are so many conflicts between employees and employers. So because of the Industrial Peace Act, diha na nakuan ang paglegalize sa mga pagbuog union, pagbuog mga labor groups inside the corporations. And then there are other several labor and social laws which were embodied in the Labor Code of the Philippines. Okay, so all of these are under the Labor Code of the Philippines, and the implementing rules and regulations of these were effective as of November 1, 1974. So the compliance with these laws, like for example, not to mention the need to secure permits, to compile statistics, and make various reports to government agencies, became part of the services of a personnel department. Okay, so because of these government regulations and laws, nakita ang need for personnel development. So nadagdag siya, na-add siya dito sa mga task niya. Mo na siyang nag-grow ang personnel development. Next is the growth of labor unions. So as mentioned, because of the Industrial Peace Act of 1953, otherwise known as the Magna Carta of Labor, na-trigger ang mga that it triggered the organization of labor unions and the strengthening of the workers' bargaining power. So there are collective bargaining negotiations, and the administration of union contracts may best be handled with the technical resources of a personnel department. Okay, so sila ang mag-mediate ana. So because dili man malikayan nga na mga conflicts, no? Di na magay mga um, employees that they are going to demand for higher salary, they are going to demand for security of tenure, and then a management, because as I've mentioned earlier, opposite ang ilang interest, 'di ba? The employers or mga ang top management, they would always want to make tipid. They would always want to uh, cut costs. But the employees, they would always want to have a better salary, a better working condition, security of tenure, more benefits, di ba? So that is why there's personnel, human resource management in order to manage these disputes through bargaining agreement. And that is because of the Industrial Peace Act of 1953. Then another one is the influx of new concepts in management. Um, the employee welfare concept is not new. It's just the human resource management field is new, but the welfare of the employees is not a new concept, but its nature has changed from one paternalism to that of employee rights through practices that have become institutionalized. So the employee benefits have become varied and far-ranging, making their administration a complex function. So nahimo na siyang complex because before, pag may paternalism, like murag gitan-aw, murag kanang ang isa ka company or isa ka organization is being handled just like how a household is being handled. So unsa man ang household nato, we have the father as the head of the family. So the corporation, we also have the management as the head of the family, and whatever the head of the family wants should be done, di ba? But that already changed. Dili na siya nga na, right? So the facilities of the personnel department are created again. It's utilized to handle such programs, right? So dili na ang top management ana, but there's already a specialized department which is the human resource department to handle such process. So these are the growth factors that were um, that that contributed to the enhancement or to the recognition of human resource management in the modern world. Right? So if you have any questions, just note it below, or you can post it in our classroom. And then I'll see you on the next video on the third part of this whole chapter.